So I woke up this morning and there's going to be gale force winds in my area. And so I had to go around the house and take down the covering of an awning and some stuff like that. And as I was doing it, I started to realize I get excited. I love power outages, right? I don't know why. Or I do know why, actually, because I'm totally prepared. So I spent years preparing. So before I could enjoy the power outage or the possibility of it, it took me about 2 years to get there. I started small and with the generators and all that kind of stuff. And I got myself to a place now today where I realized like gale force winds, and I was taking joy in this and being like, dude, whatever. I'm going through my little process of setting things up, and I'm realizing that it's preparing me. What if there's a longer power outage? Stuff like that. And so with that analogy in mind, I want to show you something that's really important, because in preparedness, especially when it comes to financial stuff, people tend to panic, and then they go through. If you're somewhat awake right now as to this reptilian agenda, you look out there and you're going through YouTube, you're trying to find information, and all the YouTubers are like, go buy gold. The dollar's going to be worthless. The economy's going to crash, and on and on and on, right? And so with or get your money out of the banks. That's like my favorite one right now. Get your money out of the banks. So because there's going to be digital currency, which there may be, but um, I want to show you just real basic information so that you're more prepared with the right information on the timeline of what you're actually looking at, and so and how to take an opportunity or even have joy in all of this. So this marks the top. Everybody knows of 2008, right? They talk about the 2008 crash. Well, it started in 2007. And so this line here, that's your top in 2007. These bars down here are delinquency rates on commercial and industrial loans. And so where we are today, this is 2007, the top. This marks the top for us in the recent macro on the SPY, okay? So that's we're going to call that October, which isn't totally true. This is a line graph, so but I'm just this so it's macro. It's not really showing to the month, but it'll give you some idea. So saying this is the top, I want you to see this. You see this line down? This is where everybody's going. The market's going to crash, and get your money out of the banks right here. The market's going to crash. Get your money out of the banks. Okay, so notice that the delinquency rates on commercial loans as the market was crashing started to increase. Okay, notice where you are today. It's flat. It looks a lot like this. See this? The levels are pretty much the same. Now, notice this period of time. Okay, it looks small, but it's probably about 6 months. So from top to where you're at today, it's about a year. From top to where you're at today, I bet you it's about a year. 183 days, okay? So here's the thing. If you're thinking about pulling your money out of the bank and you want to, instead of being in anxiety, you have to have the right information. And so if you're one of those people that likes those videos, just watch them as entertainment. Because the fact is that in order for there to be a digital currency, in order for you to need to get your money out of the banks and all these things that people talk about, you are here. You still have, it's just so obvious. So that's 2 years. So from where you're at today, you would have 2 years into the future before the delinquency rates increase to the point where banks become insolvent and it becomes a macro issue. Now, for them to usher in this digital currency, and I think they are testing it, don't get me wrong, what they would need is that this rate increases to where it is, and then it stays elevated. At this point, you see how it comes down? They need to stay elevated, which would put us 3 years from now, in order for them to have people willing to give up their sovereignty to such a degree that they would accept a digital currency, which may or may not happen. I'm a visionary of the future, and I believe that human nature is towards freedom. We are evolving, and the mental construct that they're trying to place on us ultimately will be shed, but just like a snake sheds skin. But if that's something on your mind, if you're watching these videos wondering what to do, know the timelines, know what you're looking at. The same thing goes for this. Like if we put gold on here, so if we go to spot gold, which is the price that people are paying for gold, look at what happens. So let's say that you were, at this time, you were like, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. Well, you bought gold, and look at what happened. The price of gold went down. You got wrecked. This is why I'm saying, why would you, they're all saying buy gold, but you got destroyed. Why not wait, right? That's what you would do. You would wait for gold to hit a bottom. You see how the market comes down? I'm going to take that off. You see? So all these people saying, get your money out of the bank, buy gold, your dollar is going to be worthless. As the dollar surges, and just recently was at all-time highs, because as everybody flees the stock market here around the world, they buy dollars. Another video for another time. But the biggest concern to the macro, the biggest concern to your money is the strength of the dollar. Fact. The biggest concern you should have is the strength of the dollar. Just so you don't doubt me. Look at what happens. This is the Japanese yen, okay? And versus the dollar. When the dollar strengthens, these world currencies, they plummet. Same thing happened in with the British pound. This is where shit really got real for them, and they had to, the market had strengthened, the dollar had strengthened, and the pound against the dollar plummeted to the point where they had to reverse course very quickly, or else they would have had a really big crisis. So my point in this is to tell you that the work I'm doing now, and why I see this as an opportunity, is because I'm prepared. Because even though I'm not making a lot of trades, I have all this information. So when I see Tesla sell off by 20% in the past week, you're going to see all the videos, doomsday videos. Just like this morning when it's like gale force winds. Now, if it were a real power outage, if some people would be like, cool, I'm going to get a candle in a book, but give them like 2 weeks, right? So the same thing for your finances. It took me years to get to the place where I don't look at any of this with anything other than it feels good. It's an opportunity. I see all these opportunities, and that's what I want to show you. If you believe all this stuff is going to happen, which it probably will, don't be the one who's in fear. Have the information now. Learn now, right? The SPY, yeah, it's going to come down here, but in the meantime, and you can short and all these things. So I just wanted to show you that the length of the timeline. They want these right-minded people. They're conscious, they're awake, but they don't understand economics at all. They've never even looked at a chart. And so if you buy gold now, your gold is going to be worth less today than it is next year. Next year, you probably have a good opportunity to buy gold. If you want to get in a little bit on the nearest term downturn, and if you feel good about that, or you've been doing it for a long time, do it to it. You know, it's not me telling you what to do. It's just having the information to make the best decision for you, and to know, like, these charts exist. These things are historical, and these macro indicators will tell you what is going on or what to expect. So that's why I do this, is, you know, to get you to a place where when the financial system does collapse, like I felt with my gale force winds this morning, I knew exactly what to do. I knew where everything was at. Just like when this pops off and everybody panics, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll be positioned. You'll know how to go short. And that's the work that no one wants to do. It's the lowest volume trading days. We're on the holiday break, but I still keep up with it because I'm preparing myself for what's going to come. Alexa, stop. So that's what I'm doing it for, man. Is not for the day trades right now, but to understand that these things are going to happen, but over a much longer time span than you think. And then instead of not knowing what to do and trying to make that decision, you start to learn now. So when the time does come, you can look at it with total ease. You'll be blessed by it, right? Wise as serpents, my friends. Peace.